We interrupt this regularly scheduled broadcast to bring you a little bit of news updates. So while walking the other day, Blair and I compiled a list of things that we call lessons learned at the halfway point. We crossed the halfway point today, and I've got a list of things here I just want to run through real quickly. Things that surprised us, things that we maybe weren't prepared for or didn't think about before we started, but that's what the list is about. Mice in the shelter. We've encountered that numerous times. We've had gear taken, socks and gloves and gaiters for our shoes. So think about mice in the shelter and how you might prevent that. Something that was said to me many, many years ago was, except for medical gear, rain gear, and food, if you haven't used it in 72 hours, you probably don't need it, and you should probably get rid of it. While you're hiking, put things on the outside of your pack that you need for the day. So everything that I think I might need during the trail for the day, meaning changing clothes, like out of this long sleeve shirt into a short sleeve shirt, any food I might want to eat for lunch, any snacks, electrolyte things for my drink, whatever else. I put it on the outside of the pack, so when I stop, I do not have to dig into my pack to get it out. If there's a chance of rain, I have my poncho outside of the pack. No chance of rain, I keep the poncho inside. Homeless people on the trail. This was something I had not previously considered, but it makes sense because homeless people are everywhere. And I don't mean homeless in a derogatory sense. I mean the people who are taking advantage of the trail. It's very frustrating for those who are trying to be through hikers. And, some people just get out there and get the free trail magic and get a place to sleep. And in some places, like where we were not long ago, there's a shower and everything else. And obvious homeless people living there. So that's a frustrating thing. It takes a pretty long time to filter water. So bank on, if you're going to filter 2 liters of water when you stop somewhere, 15 to 20 minutes every time you stop to do that. So that takes time. Don't get rid of your cold weather gear just yet, because depending on when you start the trail and timing of year, it's always nice to have a warming layer. I've tried to get rid of mine many times, and Blair's talked me out of it. I'm thankful she has. Hostel stays. The AT guidebook, which we've had for months before we started the trail, advertised prices, but the prices have increased, and I assume that'll happen again next year. So in our plan to budget, we budgeted much less for hostels than it's actually costed. Blair has a little cork ball for rolling out feet in the evening, so I think that's something very important. Instant potatoes are cheap and very, very tasty. Not something I ever thought I would enjoy, and I laughed at Blair for having them sometime in the past in videos traveling with our Airstream, but they're very cheap, very easy to carry, and they're very good and very filling and warm. Speaking of potatoes, when it gets warm outside, you're eating hot food that you probably don't want to. So think about that. What are you going to eat when it's really hot? Eating hot food is probably not ideal. If you're hiking with a partner, understand that each of you are on a different kind of thing. I am very mission focused, meaning when we get up in the morning, she says 18 miles. I just want to get to 18 miles and be done. I don't want to stop and have lunch and stop and do this and stop and do that. I just want to get 18 miles so I can be done with the day. Blair is more of a enjoy every moment along the way, and we'll get there when we get there kind of person. So there's been some concessions on both sides for that mode of thinking, because we both have different ways we hike a trail. Trail magic is wonderful, but it's very easy to eat a bunch of stuff you probably shouldn't eat and filling yourself with calories, and you still got to carry the weight in your pack. So always balance that out when you stop at a trail magic. You smell way worse than you think you do. This came to fruition to us when we stopped at our friend's house and put all of our laundry in a basket and went and took showers and came back in the room, and the whole room smelled. You don't notice it as much as the hostel, because I think that's just a smell that's in the air from so many people, but you really do notice it when you're not in that environment. Road noise, from 2 miles out from a road, you can hear it, and it gets really loud once you've been in the trees for a number of days. Exhaust fumes are something I didn't expect to notice as much as I do, but it's very potent when you get close to a road after not having been near one for a while. Perfume and soap and dish and laundry detergent, things like that. After you pass people on trail who are day hikers, you can really, really smell the clothes and perfume specifically. I think it's important to, kind of warm up and stretch and move around a little bit and get, rock back and forth on your feet, roll your feet out, do something in the mornings before you start walking, because this is a workout, believe it or not. There's a guy on the internet and Instagram called Knees Over Toes Guy. He's someone who I've followed for many years and worked on his programs, and I believe that is the reason that I don't have issues with my knees out here climbing up and down, and I don't use trekking poles. So check out Knees Over Toes guy. He's got a really great program to beef up your knees. Very, very good. Document your journey, photos, writing, voice memos, record yourself saying something about a moment, because I think it's really cool to go back and look at that and remember your thoughts. That's why I like making these videos, because it's always a great memory for us to look back on what we did. The AT guidebook that you can purchase, and you can also download the app. And there's an app called Far Out. It used to be called Gut Hook. They're both wonderful, wonderful resources. And Blair uses both. I really only use the Far Out app. I do look at the AT guidebook on the app at times and read through it, but they're both wonderful. She goes way deep in the comments and reads through and finds out a lot more information than I do. I look at the cursory look and I kind of see how far we have to go for the day, but both are exceptional things to have. Slack packing is awesome. Blair was against it. She was dead set on, I'm only going to hike north. I'm going to carry my full pack the whole way. And then we saw some people we've met on trail slack packing back one day. And she goes, I don't think any less of them that they're slack packing. They're still hiking the miles. We slack packed not long after that. We've done it a couple of times since, and we'll do it a couple more times, but it's awesome. It's a wonderful way to make miles, particularly on rough terrain where you don't want to carry a full heavy pack. Shoe gaiters are a must, something I never had before the trail here, but I love them now. And now that I'm missing one, I can't wait to get some more. Rocks slow you down. Big rocks slow you way down. So being up on the ridge lines can be very, very slow in your miles per hour, how much you walk per day. I like to say find nutritiously dense food. So think about how much it weighs versus how many calories it has. Some ramen and things like that are not very calorically dense and they weigh nothing. Macadamia nuts, super calorically dense and don't weigh much. Olive oil added to your tuna doesn't weigh that much, adds a significant amount of calories. So I think that's kind of things are important. So look at the food you eat and get nutritiously dense food for as light a weight as possible. Those are our major halfway updates. I hope you enjoy this and know that I'm making this video today, but in the sequence of videos, this will be kind of out of order because I think only week 7 or week 8 is out already, but we're in week 11, physically in week 11, but it takes me a lot of time to edit and get them uploaded to YouTube and things like that. So this is our halfway point update, and back on a regular schedule, and you'll see how everything's progressed up to this point. See you soon.